I'm over an hour into my hike. I've clocked myself now at almost a mile and a half, just shy. Not sure what tower I'm up to. They gave us a little postcard with all the towers and the exit point clearly marked.
They walk it? Yes.
This is one of the less touristy sections of the wall. I've seen some small tourist groups like the one behind me there coming through. Puffing away on a cigarette. The guy was on his cell phone. You still have to put up with minor annoyances wherever you go. I waited 2 weeks for a really clear day to come out here. The first gate house, well, maybe the third one I went to, there was an American tourist puffing away on a cigarette. And there have been a few tour groups getting guides, but it's actually not more than a small group of people battling the area of the Great Wall that is supposedly spoiled by the crowds and the souvenir hawkers and touts. Although it's the best restored, so that's why everyone goes there. Most of the towers have little historic signs that explain which tower you're at and give you some idea of its specific purpose along the wall. There have been a couple that guard passes and have sections of wall that branch out from the ridge and flank the pass, and then others that were signal beacon towers, and yet others that were administrative hubs. But they're all more or less the same in their spacing and design. The idea is that none of the towers are so far away that you couldn't fire an arrow down and cover the whole wall. So that, for instance, it's 2 arrow spaces between these 2 towers. The idea being he can fire a tower to the middle area here and he can fire an arrow to there. So with a little overlap, anyone storming the wall could be hit. So we're at large Jinshanling Tower. This building started to be built in 1569. It is a masonry building, and its inside takes on the shape of the top of boat canopy. It comprises 2 stories which are connected by stairs. A room with wood imitated brick structure was built on the top story, and the articles like the eaves, purlin, ridges, made of grinded bricks of wood imitation are very delicate and special. The tiles of the room were repaired in 1987. It said that this tower was built by soldiers from the Jingji area, so they used the name of Jinshan Island in Zhejiang province to show their missing of hometown. Zhenjiang? Zhenjiang, Jinshan Island. I guess it's not Zhejiang province, it's something else. Oh. You can see the highway we came in on there. I think that's it anyway. We're actually in Hebei province, Hebei province, Hubei. They bust us up here. So, not exactly sure where I am. We're about 140, 150 kilometers north of Beijing, northeast north by northeast anyway. So what is it, about 70 miles north of Beijing, I guess we are. It's nice to hike along the reconstructed wall, but I was hoping to catch some glimpses of rubble fill to get an idea, maybe at the end. This was only redone last year. They had this hike closed off till very recently, and my youth hostel was doing a version, I think, where they didn't have us hiking through this portion, but it was reopened, I think, 2013. So what you're seeing now is Ming era reconstruction of Ming era wall, which most of the pieces I think that get reconstructed tend to be the Ming pieces, since they're the ones in the best shape to begin with. Although you can see pieces of the Qin. I was trying to pick up on what the tour guide said. I think she said the first 3 towers we went through, that section wall dated from the Qin. And you can see here, this tower's in pretty bad shape. I mean, most of its battlements are still standing. It does give you some idea. Even here, you can see some of the sections aren't in the finest state. Which is, I think, nice to have little pieces like that you can get an idea after you first get on the wall. They've come up with a pretty good model, you know, tourist access points that you first get on the wall, and it's real nice. So you don't climb up on some shabby thing that you go, it's not worth it. You get the full flavor of what it would have been like to go back in a time machine. And then you hike in 1.5 miles, and you come upon some stuff that's a little rougher. So by the time that you're kind of getting blasé, you go, oh, I see. They put some effort into this reconstruction. I should appreciate that. And by the way, this is what it looked like in its, quote, natural state over the centuries of disrepair. You know, a lot of it was quarried. Nature's probably the worst, the hardest on anything man-made. Almost anything we build starts to crumble within a few decades without proper maintenance. I don't know that we'll ever be able to build things that stand any longer than that without major attention. I guess you could say some of the stuff like the pyramid, but then the other great enemy of anything built by man is man, you know. Things get pilfered. I think Mao actually officially sanctioned and encouraged the pilfering of the wall for people to build everything from roads to pig pens. A lot of pieces were taken by people living near here, and they had some right if you consider the fact that the soldiers who were garrisoned here probably fathered a lot of the people who are now the descendants living within close enough distance to come pillage this stuff. So their ancestors were political prisoners forced to build the wall. I don't think you can be too critical of them picking it apart. Although when you look at it, it is sad to think about that happening. And you say to yourself, well, maybe it'd be better for them to move to a tourist oriented economy where they have a beautiful wall that people come to hike. Then you see people reduced to shoving postcards and cheap souvenirs in your face to make a living, and you think, well, I don't know how dignified in existence and that is, you know. So like I was saying in my last video, there's a balance between all these things: internal security, external security, personal freedom, historic preservation, industry, commerce, population growth. There are ways to have sort of win-win situations, I think, but when you consider the natural environment and economic constraints, you know, China, the people of China, the hardworking people of China, been repressed for thousands of years. First by dynasties that in some cases were not even ethnically Han, and then, you know, by the Qing, they're in a semi-feudal state, the Chinese Empire, and you have the foreign powers come in and start semi-colonial carving up of China. And Japan says, hey, that looks like a good idea. They adopt the imperialist motto. They have no white man's burden to go along with it. And they've been unfairly treated. So then you have that whole period of the Japanese from the 30s to the 40s, more civil war. And it's only in the 50s that China is able to start from a, quote, you know, fresh point politically, but of course that's been, I won't use the word poisoned, but colored by a lot of Leninist and Marxist political theory. That's just that, political theory. So they try the agrarian economy for a while. Not so great for everybody. People still end up starving, even with a surplus of food. Although you can argue that that's purely political mismaneuvering under the Great Leap Forward. When Mao exported food while people were starving to show that things were okay in the Middle Kingdom. But I think the great fear was if they didn't project that abundance and prosperity, they'd be vulnerable to foreign aggression once more. I'm not a historian of the caliber to argue the point either way. It's just personal, asking more questions here than I am trying to provide answers. So you look at something like this and you put it in that perspective. You say, well, the fact that I can come here and look out along the ridgeline as far as the eye can see, and there's the Great Wall, is something of a miracle. And I think all that stuff makes it more colorful. And you know, at the end of the day, we're talking about bricks and mortar, a lot of this stuff can be repaired. And yes, you lose valuable archaeological information, blah, blah, blah. But if you look at most major archaeological finds, not all of them, but a lot of them, the person who stumbles upon it is a farmer with this pickaxe or hoe or something. So you'd have a lot of these major discoveries never discovered if it wasn't for the local farmer, or sometimes like Wang Fujing, the Oriental Plaza Mall. They're digging the basement and they found a Paleolithic settlement going back to 25,000 BC. Coffee and beer. Ni hao. Ooh.
Ice water, 2 cup beer.
How much is a beer?
Beer.
How much is it?
15.
15? A little expensive for my taste. I have water. I can't stop for beer now. Whew. It's still a pretty good price, considering they had to lug it up here. That's like $2.50. It's less than you pay on airplane or in a terminal, for that matter. I always think about that, you know. You get kind of pissed off sometimes when you think, oh gosh, you know, I know that should cost half as much. Or they sell water at tourist sites for 10 yen. 10 yen, and you're like, okay, well, I know that should really cost less than 1 yen. But that's still, we're talking about the difference between 20 cents, you know, 15, 20 cents and $1.50. And I'm thirsty, and you've kept it cold, so do I really care? I do get angry though on things that are essential commodities are price gouged, especially when you feel like they're doing it to you because you're a tourist. Although I think they tend to charge the same price no matter what most of the time now. You can get gouged if you're trying to buy something at a bazaar, you know. A lot of times we'll quote you a price like 8 times what it, you know, they'll accept if you haggle, you know. Even that stuff like water and shit you could haggle for. But, you know, again, when the difference is, even if you're on an extremely tight budget, you know, the difference between 80 cents for someone whose teeth are rotting out of their skull. I'm not gonna sit there and haggle usually. Or if you really don't want to pay that much, you know how much it's worth, just give it to them, take it, and give them something that's fair. Most of the time they're not gonna try to argue with that. Even in the United States, I've heard you could actually haggle at Walmart for things like a PlayStation or something and pay less than the price that's asked for it. And a lot of times they will sell it to you for that if you want it for less. You just have to be willing to do it. I've actually seen people in line at Walmart, usually in like the South. They'll do this. They'll say, these are on sale at such and such a market. These drumsticks for such and such a price. Can you give me that? The cashier will go, yep. They have a morning meeting every morning. They know that there's a cheaper price, and they're told if someone asks for it, you give it to them. If they don't, then they pay the higher price. But it's on sale cheaper somewhere else, and we have to honor that price. And I thought that was interesting. I've only seen it a couple times just by coincidence. But they don't put up any fight. If you, you know, it would help if you had the ad, I guess. But I've seen people do it without the ad. Ni hao. A video is the best souvenir. Now I'm going to be harassed, which is no fun.
Be careful.
You wouldn't think that it's worth somebody's time to hike up and down and follow you around if you're obviously not interested in something. But it's often what they're doing. You think, gosh. And you end up feeling sorry for them and you want to buy something just because you feel bad. Which I don't think you should ever be guilt-tripped into making a purchase. So here's where you really have to be careful. There's no guardrails. Not that far, but I wouldn't want to break my ankle. I don't think you'd break your neck, but that would not be a pleasant fall.
It's a China. It's a Mongolia.
Mongolia? Yeah.
It's a border.
Kublai Khan and Genghis Khan, right? It really ruins the mystique when someone follows you like this. You can't make any eye contact. A lot of times when I'm doing the video, they think I'm talking to them. So they want to follow you.
I'm sorry. You later buy souvenir.
No, I don't. Don't need to buy a souvenir. Huchuan Pass, known as the Maid Bun Shanji, built 1368 as an important pass of Jinshanling Great Wall. It's one of the main passages to go in and out of the pass. It used to be guarded by a great number of troops. There were Commander-in-Chief Bureau on the hill ridge within 40 meters inside the pass. Now only the house site remains. Next up, is that Rower Tower? Flower Tower.
This is one more.
And there's a buttress wall off this one, Han Long Gu. It's another buttress wall. There's the cable car. Came up when we were in Little Jinshan Tower. It's Little Jinshan, the one that had the guy with his video, or his photo shop. He had a little souvenir shop where he had his books and photos of the Great Wall. I was surprised to see him up there because it looked so well stocked. So it makes sense now if he's at the top of the cable car, he probably brings all that stuff up by cable car.
Okay, later. You hanging photo, very nice.
There's lots of little opportunities here to hike off the wall, cut around part of it. See some people out there. There's somebody selling that at the entrance. Why would I buy it from you up here?
You later, okay? Okay?
I'll meet you at the bottom, and I'll buy it from you at the bottom of the hill.
Later.
At the bottom, yeah.
You buy there.
I'll buy it from your sister at the bottom of the hill.
You look, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, but you showed me already, so now I don't have to buy it. You should just hold it close enough but far away. And then I have to pay. That's the trick.
这是买后嘛，有完全后嘛。
You live in the wall?
Yeah.
You're
it's 2 hours 买后。
Ah, you're a troll.
Look, this is
She lives.
walk 完全后
Oh,
2 hours.
yeah, 2 hours she has to walk up here.
Yeah.
That's the dark side of the tourist industry. It's actually probably worth this woman's time. She looks like she's been doing it a while. To hike up here with a few things in her book bag and harass tourists.
Local farmer, you work every day.
You should be in the field right now. It's harvest season. I tricked her. I'm Mongolian and you are Han.
It's Mongolian.
I'm Mongolian.
You know Mongolian.
You have to chase me. Chase me. Ha! Chase me. I'm a Mongolian invader. Which way is Dadu? Dadu. Dadu. I invade Beijing. I want to capture Beijing. Now I got some distance on her, she can't catch up. I saw her open up her book bag, and I said, "Now's my chance." Oh no! Back!
Hello, that's water. That's water, hey. Okay?
Oh no! That's too steep. Oh my! Now I know why people are going off the trail. Ice cold water. Does look pretty good. What a wacky world we live in. That people fly on a plane and hike this thing. And the farmer is running after the educated Westerner, trying to sell him a book. If you think about it, it's pretty wacky. Pretty wacky the way things turn out in this world. Uh-oh. She's still at it. Still at it. She wants to sell me water. If she can just sell me that one bottle of water, everything will come together in her life. Und Wasser! I'm holding out. Look at this dry desert scrubland. Whew. Pretty pink, purple flowers now. Almost to the top of the ridge now. My Sherpa behind me lugging my water. Woo. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, papi.
What?
You speak Spanish?
No.
Ay,
Uno, dos.
ay, papi.
What's that?
Ay, papi. Mucho frío agua.
What's this?
Means your water is very cold.
Oh.
Means the water is very chile. Oh man. Gosh. Well, there are those people over there. So they didn't finish. Parts of the wall are still closed. They reopened the hike now as a 2013, it said in the guidebook. It was closed for a while. But they obviously haven't finished the reconstruction. And I wonder if I could get a look at some rubble fill. The people are back on the wall there. And I want to see some of the rubble core. But I don't want to have to hike through it. A group of 300 men hold the pass. Dadu. See, UN Mongol word for their name for Beijing. Dadu, dadu. You think if I throw my wallet to this woman, she'll leave me alone? Let's throw my wallet at her. Take it. It's yours. Stop following me. What did I say? All I said was hello, I think. Ooh, Lord. Have mercy on my soul. You go ahead.
This way.
You go ahead, I'm a gentleman.
Oh.
Ladies first. It would be funny to do a parody of a tourist up here and he just can't take it anymore. Commits suicide. Ah, look, you bye. He just jumps off the cliff. You think you could freak him out if you hiked up here with like a blow-up doll or dummy and your backpack blowed up when you get up here? Then threaten to push him off from a distance. Then throw him off the cliff and the people go, oh no! Have a hidden camera. Oh. China! Almost there. I guess the further you hike in to the midpoint, the more likely you are to sell water. Hello.
Hello.
Aha.
嘿，回来嘿，回来嘿。
Oh, that's too high to hike up. I won't see any rubble fill. It doesn't look like either. Using ancient construction techniques passed down over the centuries. A lot of these guys are probably from the provinces. Come here for work. Beijing, I think, has less people than Shanghai. They said the population was 25 million, which is about, I think, what they said about Shanghai unofficial population. Hello.
Hello. How about cocoa water beer, coffee tea?
Coke, water, beer.
Cold out there.
Cold.
Cold out there.
Very cold. Cool.
Hey, go.
I wonder if they'll let me give it a try. I want to put one of the bricks in.
录一道儿还得。
I don't think I'm supposed to go this way. I gotta go back down. How do I go over? I go down the steps. Who wants to hear a joke?
City, woman, movie.
Movie.
Yeah,
I make movie.
you make a movie.
Yeah.
Good telephone.
Good telephone, yeah. Whew. She didn't know what hit her just now. I tried running away on the uphill, it didn't work. I tried running away on the downhill. But I think they switched touts on me. It's like a relay race. One harasses you for 100 meters and passes you off to the next one. Imagine running relay. They should have a relay race like that. They could call it the Great Wall of China relay race. And you have to walk the whole distance. But the gawkers trade off every 100 meters, shoving postcards and books and trinkets in your face, teasing you with expensive bottles of water. And then the person who doesn't give in wins. It's not who's fastest. Can you make it the whole way without losing face? Whew. Hello! Hello! You go. Shout. Your turn.
Wait.
Hello!
Friend, you let your husband souvenirs.
你好!
Oh.
Yeah?
好.
好!
好，非常好，
你好!
非常好。
非常好!
Very good.
Yeah?
非常好 means very good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Ah.
You say 非常好。
Ah. 福满猪! Deng Xiaoping! He's the one who restored this wall.
Yeah.
Thanks to him, I'm walking on it. Whew. It's nice to have a little company. Little company. Not too much. Smoke signals. One guidebook said horse dung, the other said wolf dung, and then the tour guide on the bus said horse dung. They burned. All the minerals maybe gave color to the smoke. Nice and smoky. Whoo! I hope I didn't go too far. I should check where I am. I may have missed the exit. It's 2:30. They said 3:20 we would meet. Whew. I gotta end up over here. Huh. They don't show. Oh, they do show it. Oh, there's a museum. Museum here, huh? Coffee. Great Wall Jade Culture Museum. Bing! Is that where I exit? What am I up to now? How many miles? How many thousands of miles have I walked? 2.5. That can't be right. Slow and steady wins the race. She knows it, and I know it. We both know it. Maybe I could just make a little home right here. I probably have enough money in my pocket to get snacks and water for the next week before I muster up the strength. Woo. I'll just make my little home right here. I'll harass tourists in perfect English that come through. I'll charge them. I should set up a toll gate is what I should do. That's what I would do if I were the farmer. Make national headlines. Local farmer sets up toll gate on Great Wall of China. It actually would be funny, you could let people through for free when they come through, so you wouldn't actually stop them. You just comically raise the toll gate and put your hand out. I bet you'd make more money that way. If you put on a little show, like a busker. They should have a busker up here spitting fire and stuff. That's what the Great Wall needs, by the way. Oh my, these steps are big. They're really too big. They're just way too big. This is the 70% grade that they talked about in the tour guidebook. It wouldn't be so bad walking up it if it was just a sheer 70% grade. But when you have steps like this, it really takes it out of you. You gotta really use your hands. I see why they say have a rucksack and use your hands. Because these stairs are just too big. I mean, that one's not so bad, but some of them, like, look at that one. 1, 2, 3, 4 bricks high. That's not a step. That's a ledge. That's when you start doing this gimp walk up. Oh, I was already sore and tired from hiking. What do I hear up there? Somebody has a fan running. There's some kind of apparatus in there. We'll investigate.
Hello.
Ooh, hello. You beat me.
Yes.
You won.
Huh?
You won the race.
I want you buy souvenir. Later, okay?
You have bragging rights.
Huh?
You're the king of the world now. Say it with me. I'm the king of the world!
You take photo here?
No, I'm okay.
You stay here, take one more photo now.
I'm okay. I don't need a photo. I'm a tough cookie.
Oh, finish.
Yeah, good.
Hello.
Hey,
1, 2 tars for 22 tars.
huh?
1, 2 for 22 tars. This is last one.
Yeah,
1,
22.
2. Yeah, 22 tar. Finish.
That's the last of my water.
I have water.
Woo!
Hi.
A present for you. No, I won't do that. I'll hold on to it.
I take it, no problem.
No.
I take it home for change small money.
You want it?
Yeah,
You can have it.
10 bottle for change 5 cents.
Ah, there you go. Don't say I never gave you nothing. Woo! You want cookie?
I hope you open.
You want one?
I know. I eat finish. You can eat.
Okay.
I need you buy souvenirs. The T-shirt. Okay, I'm gonna get you a T-shirt.
Can't we just be friends?
Huh?
Can we just be friends?
You buy my one.
I just want to be friends. I'm sorry.
You buy more water. Okay, one more water.
How much water?
10 yuan.
10 yuan.
Yeah. You here, but I go back. Okay. You here, buy more water. I go back.
You just told me I'm almost done.
Huh?
So you told me I'm almost done. And it looks like it's downhill.
Hey. here by water. I go back, okay? I want to back.
Echo bag?
Yeah, may go back.
Oh, you go back. You'll
Yeah.
go back.
This is the last one. 22 tar.
22.
1, 2. Last one for go down, down, easy.
Woo. Great. Couple that guard passes and have sections of wall that branch out from the ridge and flank the pass, and then others that were signal beacon towers, and yet others that were administrative hubs. But they're all more or less the same in their spacing and design. The idea is that none of the towers are so far away that you couldn't fire an arrow down and cover the whole wall. So that, for instance, it's 2 arrow spaces between these 2 towers. The idea being he can fire a tower to the middle area here and he can fire an arrow to there. So with a little overlap, anyone storming the wall could be hit. Island. I guess it's not Zhejiang province, it's something else. Oh. You can see the highway we came in on there. I think that's it anyway. We're actually in Hebei province, Hebei province, Hubei. They bust us up here. So, not exactly sure where I am. We're about 140, 150 kilometers north of Beijing. East. North by northeast, anyway. I'm over an hour into my hike. I've clocked myself now at almost 1.5 miles, just shy. Not sure what tower I'm up to. They gave us a little postcard with all the towers and the exit point clearly marked.
They walk it? Yes.
This is one of the less touristy sections of the wall. I've seen some small tourist groups like the one behind me there coming through. Puffing away on a cigarette. The guy was on his cell phone. You still have to put up with minor annoyances wherever you go. So we're at large Jinshan Tower. This building started to be built in 1569. Is a masonry building, and its inside takes on the shape of the top of boat canopy. It comprises 2 stories which are connected by stairs. A room with wood imitated brick structure was built on the top story, and the articles like the eaves, purlin, ridges, made of grinded bricks of wood imitation are very delicate and special. The tiles of the room were repaired in 1987. It said that this tower was built by soldiers from the Jingji area, so they used the name of Jinshan Island in Zhejiang province to show their missing of hometown. Jinshanling? Jinshanling. I waited 2 weeks for a really clear day to come out here. The first gate house, well, maybe the third one I went to, there was an American tourist puffing away on a cigarette. And there have been a few tour groups getting guides, but it's actually not more than a small group of people battling the area of the Great Wall that is supposedly spoiled by the crowds and the souvenir hawkers and touts. although it's the best restored, so that's why everyone goes there. Most of the towers have little historic signs that explain which tower you're at and give you some idea of its specific purpose along the wall. There have been a